This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
The views expressed by guests on this program do not necessarily represent the views of the host or owners of the Doggy Diva show and do not necessarily constitute endorsement of products. Medical information discussed by guests on this program are those of the guests and is only for informational purposes and should not replace medical advice by your local veterinarian professional.
Hi, this is Susan Marie from the Doggy Diva show. This week, new pain relief for cats and emergency kits and pet safety. That's what's on our show this week. Let's get started.
Hey, did you hear that? What is that? It's the bark heard round the world. The Doggy Diva show. Here's national award-winning author and animal advocate, Susan Marie.
Hi, welcome to the Doggy Diva show, the show for animal lovers. I'm your host, Susan Marie, and as always, I'm joined by my canine co-hosts, the Doggy Divas themselves. Thank you for joining us today as we bring the experts in the pet and animal world right to you. Contact us at thedoggydiva.com. That's the DOGGYDIVA.com. We love hearing from you. So go grab a cup of coffee and your pet's favorite treat, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms, and our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva show. I am here with Monica Leighton, president of Professional Pet Sitting. And Monica, I heard that there's some sort of new pain relief out there for our kitty parents, little kitties. What's going on out there?
Absolutely. So anytime our kittens or even our older cats have any issues that require anesthetic, surgery, pain relief, giving cats medication is, especially when they don't feel well, is hard. I mean, it's hard on the owner. It's hard on the cat. The kitty starts to hide from you after a day or two of chasing them around, trying to give them things. It's just not fun for everybody. But you want to make sure they're comfortable, you know what I mean? So you don't want them feeling that pain, but you want to make it nice and easy, and you don't want to have to struggle, especially when your pet isn't feeling well. And they have had some great medications come out, and then a new one that's about to come out as well that I wanted to share with people, because if your pet has to go in for any kind of procedures, or if you have an older pet, so many cats struggle with arthritic conditions, and a lot of times it's chalked up to old age. But to be able to have something that your pet can be on safely, to really help them as they age be comfortable, is something that it's been needed for quite a while. Supplements for cats is hard to give. You know what I mean? And just being able to control the comfort levels in cats specifically in a manner that doesn't alienate the cat from the pet owner having to constantly give them things and force down meds is just such a relief to pet owners and veterinarians everywhere. So just to start, let's talk about surgery. Any kind of anesthetic, even spay neuters for kittens, post-operative pain, orthopedic surgery pain, anything like that. A product came out not very long ago, within the last year, called Onsior, and it's Onsior. Onsior comes as a tablet or an injection, and Onsior is used a lot by veterinarians at this point when they're coming in for surgical procedures, stays, neuters, any inflammation from like a post-operative pain, wounds, anything, masses that are removed, anything that they will have post-operative pain or inflammation from. And it's given by injection, and it lasts for 3 days. So the pet owner doesn't have to do anything afterwards. The vet can give the injection when they come in for their appointment, and the pet's covered for pain relief for 3 days.
Wow.
Now, Onsior is an NSAID, and this is where people need to understand the differences in the pain medications. So what an NSAID is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. So the problem with NSAIDs is that NSAIDs can have side effects which can possibly be issues, especially in our older pets. So if you have a pet that is older and is having a problem and having a surgical procedure, you want something you can give for the pain, but you have to be cautious, because if you have a cat that has kidney issues that are already a problem, using NSAIDs can sometimes push that problem into a larger problem. So you don't want to start with a kidney that is slightly having issues to full-blown kidney failure by pushing product in that can have worse effects on the kidney. So just being cautious in our pets, anyone that have high BUNs or elevated creatinine, phosphorus, elevated kidney levels, to use that drug with caution. So on that end of the spectrum, there is a brand new drug that is getting ready to come out. And it is supposed to be starting to ship out to veterinarians at the end of this month. And it is the very first FDA-approved transdermal buprenorphine. And that is a big word, and buprenorphine is an opioid, and it does not have the side effects. So from our older kitties, if our older kitties that we are concerned about an aged kidney or a kidney that cannot handle pain relief, and our older kitties are having problems to where they need that pain relief, the transdermal, it looks very similar to like our topical flea and tick. You would literally apply it to the back of the neck by the veterinarian. It has to be applied at the office an hour, 1 to 2 hours before the procedure. And it guarantees the relief for the pain during the surgery, which equates, when you have pain relief on board before you go into surgery, that means it's generally less anesthetic volumes that have to be used. They come up a lot smoother. It's just a much better procedure and way to go. And that lasts up to 4 days. So the pet owner brings the pet home, and they do not have to do anything at all. And the pet has pain relief the entire 4 days post-op.
Wow, that's
Yes,
great. That is like
it
amazing. Especially even too, if this helps for seniors, to have less anesthesia is always better.
Absolutely. And, some of our pets, they come in, and cats, anything can kind of scare a cat. And having to give cats injections, things like that, some will just sit there. They will not blink an eye, and it will be no problem at all. But the fact that they don't have to be poked and prodded so many times prior to a procedure as well is just a great extra perk. You know what I mean? Most cats are used to getting a topical flea or, getting stuff put on the back of the neck hairline.
Yeah.
So it's not a big issue for them. It's a lot less fearful, and it's in the system quickly. So literally when they come in there for their procedure, they get the topical, the transdermal applied. And within a couple hours, they're ready to start their surgery. They get to go home free of pain. And the pet owner does not have to worry about sticking liquids in their mouth or pills in their mouth and having to go find the cat.
Yeah.
After the first time they do that. So it's just a really, really great addition to pain relief for our pets.
It sounds like a win-win.
Absolutely. And then another one that is just coming out that we're very excited about as well is a new drug called, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's Solensia. It's Solensia. And Solensia is used for degenerative joint disease, arthritic issues in our cats. This is so vitally needed. It's a great, great, great addition for feline patients. Just general standards, chronic arthritis and degenerative joint disease affects 45% of all cats. And we're not talking about older cats. We're talking about 45% of every single cat.
Wow.
No matter the age. At least 45% generally struggle with some type of degenerative joint disease. And some cats are predispositioned, depending on the genetics, the breeds, the makeup, to have that earlier in age. And 90% of our cats over 12 years old struggle from degenerative joint disease. So 90%, huge number. And treating that in the past is difficult because, again, medications have side effects. They're difficult to give when you're having to, you know what I mean, give stuff all the time. So this is a great new product. So what it is, it's the first monoclonal antibody approved in the United States for use in animals. So when your cat has arthritis, the cartilage, the cushion, the joint, they can break down. They rub against each other. They cause the pain and inflammation, even as early as 6 months of age to even a year. Some cats start seeing signs that it affects the quality of life. So how this works, feline pain, just because it's difficult to treat because of the oral medication being an issue, this is just, it's just amazing. So how it works is the NSAID is taken orally and they have the relief they need. It's difficult because every single pet out there is so different and they all have different needs. And in cats tend to be a mask of diseases. So when they're wild and they go out there and they're prey driven, they want to appear healthy. That's how the DNA has been with cats from day one. And when they aren't feeling good, they're very good at masking that pain so they themselves do not become prey to larger animals. See, they don't want to seem weak or undernourished or ill by any means because it makes them vulnerable to prey.
Yeah.
So identifying arthritis in our pets is so hard. Anything from not jumping on a counter as much as they used to and not jumping up onto a couch, things of that nature, is difficult. So where this Solensia comes in is you've always had to do oral. Difficult to give. The Solensia is injectable. It's cleared by the FDA for controlling osteoarthritis, which takes care of that pain stuff. And it's a once a month injectable.
Wow.
So you are not having to do 10 million trips into the office. It is only once a month. And people need to be aware that Solensia is not a cure for degenerative joint disease. That cartilage, as they age, is going to break down. What Solensia does is it controls the pain that they get with that breakdown. So it's keeping them comfortable with something that the body is naturally going to continue to break down over age.
Wow, that's like very helpful. And also because I don't have a kitty right now, but when I did, it was a 2-person job and I had to wrap her up in a blanket like a burrito to get the medication in her because the pilling, I had a pill thing, or drops, they don't like it. These are they take the stress out of it, not only for the pet parent, but for the pet. And it seems like it's effective in the pain that comes from, whether it be arthritis, whether it's a surgery, whatever it is, it seems to be that these are much less invasive for the pet parent to give them if it could be done at the vet. Or I don't know, Monica, this is very cutting edge.
Yes, and it's brand new. Like the last two that I talked about, the Silencia, and then the topic, like the transdermal buprenorphine, they are just coming out. Like Silencia, they have second half of 2022 is the date, but I have not even seen the exact date. So if you see these things out there marketed, they're coming. Every vet's office may not have them all in stock yet. Like, for example, the transdermal buprenorphine, I pre-ordered that when it became available to veterinarians for pre-orders. So we were the first ones on the list, and it is still not been into offices yet because it's still not at the end of the release date to get it out to everybody. So it's definitely coming in very, very soon to offices. So if you have pets that are struggling with the joint disease or they're having a procedure done, that you have a very difficult time giving the medications post-operatively, then definitely talk to the veterinarian to see if they have gotten any of those in yet, because it is by far the most less invasive and most effective ways to really control that pain without having to go through the issues of pilling and medicating and chasing around a kitty once they catch on that you're going to be doing this all the time.
As always, you've given us great information and very, very helpful, especially for those feline pet parents out there who I know when I had to give, like Holly Berry or Timmy, when I had to give them their medication, oh my God, it was as stressful for me as it was for them. So this is very, very helpful to our feline pet parents out there. So Monica, as always, thank you very much. I think the pet parents will be talking with their vets saying, okay, do you have it? When are you going to get it? So again, can you just give out the 3 medication names in case they want to make note of it?
Absolutely. So just, going back to the beginning, the first one that is the injection that they can do for pain that is out already is called Onsior. So it's ONSIOR. And then the one that's coming out very soon, which is the transdermal for the buprenex. That one, I just want to make sure I get the spelling right here. Hold on one second. When I go back to that one on my little sheet here, is Zorbium. It's ZORBIUM. I knew I was going to mess that one up. And then as far as our kitties with the degenerative joint disease, the arthritic issues, the once a month injection that has come out is called Silencia, and that's SOLENSIA.
Well, as always, you're bringing us great information, and this is very valuable, and I thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great week.
You too. We'll be back in just a moment. Hello, everyone. Susan Marie here to tell you about the award-winning 3-book series, The Doggy Diva Diaries. It is a trilogy of heartwarming and inspirational stories about Miss Olive, a lonely little rescue pup, hoping to find her forever family and friends and a life filled with love. In this series, Miss Olive learns that it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, it's the kindness and love you have on the inside that counts. Available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other online booksellers. And please visit us at thedoggydiva.com for more information. Thank you, everyone. Coming up, with tornado and hurricane season upon us, now more than ever, it's important to have a plan and a kit for you and your pets. Stay with us.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva Show. As a pet parent, I find it imperative to be prepared for an emergency regarding my pets. I live in Florida, and we have hurricane season from June to November. So I always know that it's important to have a plan and also to have my kit together, my emergency kit for my pets. And here with us to tell us more about that, this very important topic, is Chief Marketing Officer of Bil-Jac Foods, Kim Gaebelein. Welcome back to the show, Kim.
Hi, Sue. Thank you very much for having me on.
Well, no, because this is a really important topic. And can you share with us the importance of keeping our pets safe by establishing a plan in case of an emergency?
It really is one of those things we don't always think about, right? I mean, there, like you said, there could be hurricanes. There could be, there's a lot of fires where sometimes you might have to leave your home, leave your community because of that. It could be a fire in your own house. It could be a loss of power, where maybe you have to leave because of that, or a mudslide. Or I know here in Ohio, we have tornadoes. And so those are some of the things that, could certainly happen. So it's important to think about what would you do, what could you do, right, in the case of an emergency of one of those situations. And so, the first thing to think about is, what kind of plan do you have to be able to get out of the house, right? And so that's one of the things you really need to think about is, that kind of that list of like tips and tricks that you need to have to be able to say, okay, if something like this happened, what could you do? And so one of them is certainly having a plan for getting out of the house. Who's going to find which pet? You may have more than one pet in the house. And so it's important to be able to know who's going to find that pet, know where that pet tends to hide. Where might they be?
Very important.
Are they maybe under the bed? Do they have a favorite place, like maybe in their crate to be? So you want to know who's going to find them. And then where are you going to meet outside the house? So typically, if there's a fire in the house, you might be meeting, out by the mailbox, for example. And so you want everybody to be able to get out as quickly as possible and meet at the mailbox so you're all accounted for and that your pets are accounted for. Certainly if you need to leave, something more significantly, right, from a fire in the community, from a hurricane, being able to have an evacuation plan. I guess not all of the shelters take pets. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, that is true, unfortunately.
So it may be that you need to identify a few friends who maybe are not in the path of the storm, who you might be able to leave your pets with, after you get out of the house. That's kind of really important to be able to do. Making sure that your pets are ID'd and or microchipped is really important, because in case you're separated as you're leaving the house, you want to make sure that they can be found and returned back to you, or someone knows how to get in touch with you for them. And, and just really, understanding, kind of watching your dog, right, through this whole process, to know kind of how they're doing and kind of making sure that you're taking care of their needs too. Because I know that it'll be kind of a scary time with, maybe there's smoke in the house or something else happening. So, again, just trying to think about those plans ahead of time can really be very, very important. And then it'll make it a lot easier for you to kind of make it through those things, right? We all think we're going to grab our phone when we have to run out of the house, or and unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way.
When it strikes, everyone goes into a panic. I mean, I've been in 2 hurricanes where we had to identify what we were going to do. Thank goodness we had a plan. Kim, you touched on something about the ID and microchip. Everyone just needs to go back to Katrina and all of those pets that were displaced. So it's very important that you do that.
And it's good to know, like, where in your house, like, if you do have the tornadoes in your area, I know that a lot of houses in Florida don't have basements. Is that right?
None. No. Mm-mm.
Right. But here in Ohio, a lot of us have basements. So, you need to know which rooms should you go into?
Yep.
Should there be a tornado or a bad storm that you need to shelter from? And, make sure that you've got, your some things for your pets, in that room when you go. You might want to grab a crate. And have those kinds of things ready to be able to take with you into that room so that you're ready to go. So, yeah, I mean, it is one of those things where you just never know what's going to happen. And so it's important to kind of be prepared. It just takes a little bit of time to think about these things, right? Maybe practice that plan with the family. The family's probably going to think, oh, you're crazy. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? But hopefully you won't ever need to use it, but you'll be ready when you do.
Now, what are a few things that pet parents can do before an emergency strikes?
Yeah, one of the things I think people don't always think about is, training your dog. So, I mean, certainly we talked about some of the things like, having a plan, being able to practice that plan, those kinds of things. But, spending some time training your dog is actually kind of an important thing to do. And so, there's some just basic commands that can be very helpful to getting you, out of the house, and or if you left the house and you're trying to manage your dog while you're outside the house, being able to know that is good. So things, and they're just again the basic commands that maybe your dog already knows, but there are things like stay, because it's going to be important that maybe you don't want them to come nearer. Maybe there's cars that are outside. Maybe you're trying to get them from, coming through a room. You want them to stay. You don't want them to come through that room because maybe there's something bad going on in that room. It could be drop, so that you're making sure that they're not taking something in their mouth at the time that you're, again, in transit to somewhere else. You want to keep that out of their mouth. It could be even like come. So, you might want to get them out of a room that maybe you can't reach them. Maybe they're under the bed. So you're really trying to get them to come. Obviously, using a treat could be helpful. Those kinds of things can help them. And then also, down to stop them from, maybe moving. You might want to keep them still where they are. So those are just, there's a few things about training that are, really important to be able to know. So training your dog, which I think, again, people don't always think about is important in an emergency, can be very helpful. And also just knowing some of the, the phone numbers that you need to know. You can certainly put them in your phone. Things like evacuation route numbers. It could be your local government numbers to be able to call them to kind of find out what you're supposed to do, or it could be the Red Cross if you need some extra support. So there's lots of other things that you might be able to know about to be able to help with that. And then, of course, putting together an emergency kit, basically, for what happens if you do need to leave. Being able to put together a little kit is really a great thing. I think the first thing you need to think about, and I think this is funny because people probably think you don't need to have one of these now, but a picture of your pet.
Absolutely.
A printed picture.
You don't even think of that.
Because in case you leave the house and you don't have your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You could
or
at
if
least have
the
a picture
cell towers are down and your phone's not working.
Exactly. Yeah, we can't take it for granted that everything's going to be working in the area that we're in. Certainly some food and water. If your dog is on any medicine, it's good to have a little bit of medicine tucked away in there for a few days, just so that until you can get to somewhere else to be able to help them with any medicine that they take. Their collar and leash is really important. We talked about the ID. That ID is really critical to make sure that they've got a collar with their ID on it and their leash. It could be that they have a crate or a carrier that you kind of use on a regular basis. You might want to take that with you, and some toys, to make them feel, fun and safe, and have a little bit of something to chew on that they might like. And then of course, some waste disposal bags, right? Those are things we always forget. But just having a few of those things together, in just one area where where you're going to go get it, should you need to leave the house, is really great. And, a lot of times you can just rotate that food, put that food in there, leave it there for, maybe a month or two, rotate it out, and then put in another, kind of few cups of food. again, just to get you through. And then you can just rotate that on a regular basis so that in case something should happen, you're ready to go.
And that's so important. And I think sometimes people forget, make sure that you have all this. We have a big tote bag and we have all of the stuff in there just so that we know we'll just grab it. It's by our mudroom in the back so that we just take them, and then we have the 2 crates. You can't think in those moments, so it's best to have it ready so that you don't have, when you're able to think that you can put everything together, that's the best thing, the best way to put it. So to plan it ahead of time. Yeah.
When you're not under duress, and when there's not something going on, and you're worried about the pets and the family, and the things in your house and all those kinds of things, you want to be able to kind of and I love how you have it in the mudroom, right, so you can go right out the door.
Yep. But we got it. Everything's there, and we're ready to go. And we got disposable bowls.
Yeah, and it's one of those things you don't want to think about it. You don't think it's going to happen, but again, it's just nice to just again spend a little bit of time and be able to get ready and be prepared.
One of the things that we always want to make sure that our pets, that they have a long, healthy life and that they feel safe. But one of the most important things as a part of that is to have key nutrition. So can you tell us a little bit about Bil-Jac and what they have? I think we have something new.
Yeah. We've been around since 1947, so it's our 75th anniversary. So we're having a great anniversary year. It's been really fun. We've been doing some fun things, and one of the great things we've done, I know a lot of people know that Bil-Jac, one of the things about us is that we use fresh chicken as our main ingredient in a lot of our foods, and we actually use 25 pounds of fresh chicken to make a 30-pound bag of our adult select and our puppy and large breed. And so so a lot of people know about what we've done, but we just did something that's probably the most exciting thing we've done in quite some time, which is we have added probiotics to all of our dry foods. Wow. So this is really big, really exciting news. Probiotics are really very helpful for a couple of different reasons. They're basically beneficial bacteria. I know that sounds funny, but they're like kind of good things for your dog's stomach. And they help to support, 2 key areas of health, right? One is digestion, and the other one is immune function. So digestion probably makes a lot of sense to people because obviously it's their stomach and their intestines, so that makes a lot of sense. That's where the probiotics start from. But it's also really important because the majority of a dog's immune system, and a lot of our immune system too, actually, starts in the gut, starts in those intestines. And so as a result, being able to give them probiotics helps to support that healthy digestion and that immune function. So now all of our formulas, all of our dry formulas and our frozen food also have probiotics in them. So we're real excited about that news.
And you should be. And, I don't think people realize that everything really does start in our guts. You have a healthy gut, probably be a healthier person, and your immune system will be healthier. And that goes the same for our pets. So this is like really, really, really important. This is this is like a game changer.
And you'll see it. We actually, what we're also doing in the process of adding the probiotics, we're also changing the packaging. Which I know everybody's like, no, don't change the packaging. But it's been a little while, and so we have some. We have a new look. It's got some beautiful dogs on the front of the package. We've done all we can to make it easy to read, easy to find the instructions and the information that you're looking for. And, and the other thing I want to also tell people is it's still got the same great taste that dogs love. So even though we've, made a little tweak by adding those probiotics, it's still the same great taste, right? It's just that little addition that we've made that we think will, help to support their health. And we're really very excited about, seeing some, having that new look on the shelf. And being able to deliver those additional benefits to dogs. It's really a fun thing to do.
Your packaging is so identifiable, so I can't wait to see the new one.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be confusing. Like, the good news is we've kept, if you feed our adult formula, which is the yellow bar, it's still yellow. So, if you feed puppy, it's still a red bar. So the good news is we haven't changed the colors. So all of that should look very familiar. But we have changed the dogs on the front and the way that we're being able to share that information of all the yummy good things that are inside of Bil-Jac dog food. So
that's so exciting.
So it's been a lot of fun the last year being able to work on the project and get all this together. So we're excited to hear about how people feel about it and what they're experiencing.
Congratulations. It's very exciting. And you're right. This is your 75th anniversary. Happy anniversary. We celebrated it like at the beginning of the year. And it's been a really big year for you guys. So this is really great news. Exciting news. So where can the listeners go to learn more about Bil-Jac? I know you guys are out on social media. I love your newsletter. You know that I'm one of your newsletter junkies. I love it. So can you tell the listeners about that?
Yeah, come out to our website. It's a great place to start. It's Bil-Jac.com. It's BIL-JAC.com. And, we have a lot of information out there about how to join our Best Friends Club. You can go to we have like a For Pet Parents tab at the top. And you can kind of join our Best Friends Club. You can actually there's a store locator on there. So if you're looking for our frozen food, you can actually say, I'm looking for frozen, and specifically put your zip code in or your address and find the stores that are closest to you. You can actually, also, we have a ton of articles in our blog. So in our Best Friends Club every month, we send out a few different stories. And some of them are about nutrition. Some of them are about our new products, our product enhancements like we're talking about today. And some of them are, just, great stories about your dog snoring, or are they colorblind? So, interest stories that you may wonder about your dog and you've always, wanted to know, and we're able to help you find out more about that. So, and then we're out on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram. And, sometimes we do some contests on Instagram. So we try to have a lot of fun. We love talking to people out there. So if there's any way that we can help you, send us an email, get onto social media and chat with us about it. Share some pictures with with us about your dog. And we'd love to see them and see how they're doing on Bil-Jac. It's always exciting to talk to everyone.
Everything's good and everything's really exciting what's going on at Bil-Jac. So happy to be a part of it. And of course, you know how we feel about the Bil-Jac food and the treats. It's like a staple in our house. And I just want to thank you, Kim, for being here, being our guest, and for sharing such helpful information with pet parents regarding the importance of having an emergency plan and a kit, and the importance of being prepared to keep our pets safe and healthy no matter what the emergency. So I thank you so very much. This is so very important, and congratulations on the new food. I think it's very exciting, and I think that it's something that the listeners, all those pet parents out there, are going to be looking for. So let me just give out the website one more time. It's Bil-Jac.com. BIL-JAC.com, and you can learn all about all of the great things that are going on at Bil-Jac. It's a big year for you guys, so congratulations.
Thank you. It's good to know that we've been around for 75 years, but we continue to learn and grow.
Yes.
And we want to be able to share that knowledge and that those benefits with all the dogs out there. So thank you very much, Sue. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll be back in just a moment.
Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket. Awesome! Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
We would like to thank our guests this week. And also, as our Doggy Divas always say, please love your pets because they love you unconditionally. And please remember to adopt, foster, spay, neuter, and microchip. And as always, please have a great Diva week, everyone.
That's all for this episode of the Doggy Diva Show. To find out more, go to our website, thedoggydiva.com. Also, find us on our Facebook page, The Doggy Diva Show, and tell your fellow dog lovers about it. Don't miss Susan Marie, Miss Olive, and the Doggy Divas right here for the next episode. See you again soon.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.